When they planted this Callery Pear for landscaping, they thought it was a beautiful plant. They thought that it wouldn't spread, it was sterile, and they called it a Bradford Pear. But we found out otherwise. It may still be a beautiful plant, but it's got some real invasive tendencies. I'm here today with Steve Clubine, and we're going to talk a little bit about his experience with the Callery Pear, controlling it, how bad of a weed problem it's been for him, and also some observations about where it likes to grow. Steve, tell us more about the Callery Pear.
Well, this is obviously a tree growing out here in my grasslands. This particular seed from that seed probably came from one of 3 trees on my neighbor's property, at least an 1/8 and sometimes a 1/4 of a mile away. Seed was probably in a fruit, like a little tiny pear that a bird roosting on the ground may have passed or dropped. We don't know. But that's where they come from, and they come from a long distance. When I start finding them out here, I lop them off. We'll talk about the control in a minute, and treat the stub. You just got to keep looking for them. You see, this was mowed off. This is in a fire lane, and I'll mow, or fire break that I will mow down shorter. It's a lot taller than that. This little burnt cut off one, you can see the little spines on it. Those are thorns that we didn't know pear trees had thorns, but Callery pears sure have thorns. You can feel them. It will turn pink in the fall, so you can see it in standing out in some of your grasslands, a little pink shrub that contrasts from about all of your other bushes. It's easier to find. It's also green earlier, green later. So that's a way to find it. The control I use on it is mainly to lob it off with my loppers, which I carry on my ATV or my SUV, and then I treat the stub right down on the ground, right on top of that stub, and I use a mixture of about 20% triclopyr remedy, Garlon 4, an ounce or 2 of Stalker in it, and the rest is water. This bottle in my own mix costs about $5 for that mix. You can also use Tordon RTU that you buy off the shelf. It's cost you $15 to $20 for the same amount. I use it, 2 or 3 gallons of this a year, so obviously making my own saves me a lot of money. Yeah. And I kill, in addition to the 1,000 Callery pears I have killed in the last several years, course of the years, I also do honey locust and Osage orange and some mulberry. But this is by far and away my worst one. But if I'm spraying something like Sericea, I go ahead and spray the canopy. I'm going by and I may not find it again. I'll canopy spray it with Pasture Guard or Clear Graze, and I may or may not kill it. But I'll find out later if it comes back. But if I lob it off, treat that stub, I'm pretty certain I got 99% kill. That's the way I control it. And if you don't, you're going to have them all over the place. If you mow it, you'll have 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 sprouts around that stub that you eventually are going to have to treat. You just have to be that many more that you have to lob off and treat. More chemical, more work. So mowing, it's not a solution other than to keep it plant shorter. This has a really rapid growth rate. I think it grows 2 or 3 times faster than honey locust or even Osage orange. So if I left this go 3 years, it'd be way up there, 3 or 4 feet tall. You can get by a couple of years and still be able to cut that stub off with loppers. You go much beyond that, you're into chainsaw category, and much more work, much more intensive stuff. Stay on top of it. Use your loppers in your bottle. I carry it with me all the time. I'm never without it. And I try not to go on thinking I got something more important to do. I try to stop right there and get it. So I found it now. So I'll cut them off. I rarely cut fewer than 5 at one stop. I find one, I'll get that one. And then I look around and there's 5 or 10. And maybe a biological reason why they're clustered here in this area, but I'm not 100% certain what that is. But there's more. There's more than that. And you also also find a honey locust or a Osage orange in the same spot, so you may get some more benefit from just having found one.
I hear you've got a creative way that you've offered, haven't been taken up on it, to get rid of the seed source, because that's really the problem, right? Is that when we plant them for a horticultural purpose, we think they look pretty. But yeah, what's your creative idea there?
Well, I've offered my neighbor $10 or $100 per tree to cut them down and plant something else. You know, and I thought that was pretty generous, but I didn't get any takers on it. But one neighbor says, I don't like them either, but my wife kind of likes the bloom in the spring and the color in the fall. So till he finally decides to do something else, I've got a constant fight of it.
Right.
I and another neighbor's got just as many on his place, but they move a lot and they grow fast. These in particular are in a cool season, 15 acres, 13 acres. I got another 13 on the other side of the lake that also has a lot of them. And for some reason, I find this 1,000 I've killed have all been in the cool season grass, whereas in my native warm season grass, maybe only 5 or 6. And I really expected that to be just the opposite because of the sweet environment that the soil is of warm season grasses. It just explode in there and grow rapidly, but that hasn't been the case. There's a couple theories why that might be, but we don't know. All we know is keep on the eye and you'll find them and cut them. There's a power line up here. There's a lot of them in the road ditch, roadside right away under it. But I thought, well, that would be the only place I'd find them because that's where the birds were roosting on the power lines. But right out here in the middle of the grass, here they are. It's a constant search every year.
So you think potentially one of the theories is that the birds roost more in the cool season grass pasture, and so you get more seeds because they're in the droppings of the birds and that sort of thing?
I think so.
Would be one. I know there's been a very creative thought, which no idea if this is right or not, but that the native grasslands have more of a diversity, of plants. And then there's not, that niche is filled by something else, and the Callery pear doesn't really have the competitive advantage that it does when it's only a cool season pasture and you don't have that diversity.
Very well could be. You know, it's good to think about why that might have an opportunity to grow there or here and not there.
Yeah. We don't even really know if the seeds are distributed evenly in both places.
No.
Or not. So it's really hard to know what might be causing it, but it's fun to think about it.
Honestly, we aren't sure. When we saw it under the power lines, we thought, well, it could be the bird is actually trying to eat the fruit and dropping the fruit. But I don't see them coming to roost out here with the fruit. I think this is a past seed, goes through the system, but we don't know that for a fact. Maybe they're all sitting down here with a mouthful of pear and drop it. Maybe they get the fruit off of the pear and drop the seed. It's just a mystery that even if we knew it, I'm not sure we could do anything about it. So let's not spend a lot of money figuring out the why. It's just keep on top of the control.
Sometimes I wonder too about the carbon to nitrogen ratios of the native grasslands as opposed to cool season grasslands. And I noticed that like in the cool season grasslands, like introduced cool seasons, there's a lot of honey locusts and Osage orange, these sort of trees, Callery pear in your case, that come in, whereas those are not as big of a problem in the native grasslands. And there's definitely a difference in that carbon to nitrogen ratio in those grasslands. I don't know if that's contributing or not, but it's fun to think about. That's
may have a lot to do with it. You know, a lot we don't know about that. We know that when woody plants get into a native grassland, they grow pretty fast, but by comparison. But why would they get there, more likely to get there than here? And don't know that.
Well, I know you've been dying to kill this thing, Steve. You want to show us how to kill it?
Yep. I'm going to take my loppers, lop that sucker off, make sure I see that stop, pop that top, and treat both those stobs. Doesn't take much. I don't want any sloppy residue to hit some other plant. Stay right on the stob. And I've got that one 99.9% sure it has died.
I'm Elizabeth with Hamilton Native Outpost, and this is Steve Clubine, who has over 40 years of experience killing invasive plants in native grasslands. Thanks, Steve, for being with me today.
Well, thanks for coming with me and allowing me to kill something I really don't like.
We at Hamilton Native Outpost make these videos to share the unique knowledge that we have gained from over 40 years of working with native plants as we raise and sell native grass and wildflower seeds. If you found this video helpful, we need your help to get the message out. Please subscribe, share, like, and comment. It helps others to find us. Thank you.